Good morning. Hope you're doing really well. I am today in Hertfordshire and we're off to do a decoy bunker. It's got a really interesting story, this one. So come with me and let's go explore it. Come on. Welcome back, everybody. So today we are doing another starfish decoy site, but this one's in Hertfordshire, and if you can hear the noise in the background, it is because literally just beyond us is Luton Airport, and it is very, very loud even from here, but it just proves how high up we are for this civil decoy site, which is incredible, really. A QL decoy site. Haven't been in yet, and it was actually easier to find than I thought it would be, which is always a nice little bonus, isn't it? We're in this beautiful countryside all around here. It's gorgeous. It's like, again, it's perfect for a decoy site because it is well out of the way. Yet, like I said, the interesting thing is that we know that Luton Airport is literally yonder, and most of the planes are coming in from this direction. So if I sort of simulate what a plane would be doing, it's going down and then it's going into Luton Airport. And I don't know if you can see, you'd have to squint, but the lights for the airstrip are down there as well, and they're quite prominent on here. It's quite windy today as well, because obviously we're up on a hill and it is winter time as we're recording this. So, you know, what more could go on apart from a muddy field. There's our footpath that just parallels that hedgerow. But so okay, what I think we should do is we should go in and have a nosy, and then let's just go from there. Oh look, hang on, before I do that, there's our plane. It's an EasyJet coming into Luton Airport. See that noise? Look at that. Hopefully that's coming out in the camera. Anyway, let's go with our decoy site. Come on. Right, here we go. What awaits us, no one knows. So I didn't know prior what the condition was like in here. I just knew that it existed. So I am just sort of going on first impressions. So we know this is the escape hatch, which means this is the command post section of the bunker. It's a little leftover rung there from where the ladder would have been. There's our escape hatch there, full of spiders. But it's a two, as is common with all decoy sites, it's split into two. But there's a lot of soil in here. Yeah, look at this. So believe it or not, this would have been the generator. But you wouldn't know because you're not even on ground level. That's crazy. I've never seen this before. Like, where the fact is you're not even on ground level. I mean, you're well raised up. Look at the amount of soil that's in here. Original wooden frame, which is nice to see. And then, just sneaky. The problem is I'm actually having to sort of duck because I can't actually put my head all the way up here. We've got our pipe, well, we've got one of our pipes. I'm assuming that was for the vent, maybe. There's another little, well, there's a vent there. That might have been an exhaust pipe there then. But it's so difficult to even know what's here. There's another pipe down there. But apart from that, it's quite a sort of really, I don't know, depressing is not the word, but it's just, you know, I'm aware that there's wildlife, so, well, not, you know, I'm aware of wildlife, so you can see there's a few burrows, etc, etc. So the idea of this one was it was a civil decoy. So this was meant to protect Luton. More importantly, the factories at Luton obviously meant to be simulating the factory lighting. So just trying to get some decent lighting here myself, actually. And the marshalling yard lights, I can't talk today, were just controlled fires so that obviously the Germans could be fooled into thinking that the simulation of this decoy was enough that they wouldn't actually go ahead and feel that they were bombing Luton or Luton, you know, factories, etc. And it was made on the first of, well, it started operation on the 1st of August 1941. And then interesting on this one, it was a little bit longer than normally, about a year. This one was noted as it ending on the 8th of April 1943. Let me just take you through what I'm talking about. And this is C series, so this is a civil decoy site. We've seen a lot of these QL ones. But yeah, fascinating really. What was really, again, not uncommon. So this one was actually a twin of another decoy. We've seen a few of those before, especially RAF Gravesend decoy is probably one of the most well-known ones, where both of them exist, where the idea was that both decoys were meant to deflect from RAF Gravesend. There was another one which isn't in existence anymore, and this was the twin of this one. And this was down in Flamstead, I think it's called. Forgive me on the pronunciation of that. Let me just turn the light off just for a second, just so you get to see how dark it is in here. So, yeah, as you always do. Yeah, so that was in Flamstead, and that one doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, it wasn't uncommon. And again, on the area of that was pretty much in the middle of nowhere as well. So, fascinating really, the lengths at which these decoy sites were. I mean, like this one, interestingly, normally it'd last about a year. This one ended in 1943. Like I said, was to actually protect Luton Factory Works itself and all the factory end from that. So it's really outside. What you've had, obviously in these ones, you've got two separate rooms, again, not uncommon. You've got one for your generator room, which obviously to provide power for the controlled fires via a series of pipes and vents, etc. And then obviously this is the control section with our escape hatch. So, and the reason what would happen is that in the event of, if the Germans decided to bomb, excuse me, trying to slip over, in the event of the Germans bomb, they could take shelter in here. But the fact of the matter was that, in a strange way, it was designed to be attacked. So we know that if that's the escape hatch side looking out, and then that is the section of where the fires were taking place. Let's try and get out and have a look. Oh, we know then that by all accounts, the fires that would have been lit, there's a vent pipe there as well. I'm not sure if you can see that. It would have all came out on this side. And then, like I said, a series of pipes to simulate the yard lights and everything of Luton at night. So when German bombers, Nazi German bombers were coming over, they'd feel like, oh, hang on a minute, this is where it is then, surely. And then they'd start to basically, hopefully, drop their bombs here instead of dropping them at Luton itself. However, we do know, I mentioned this before, we've actually documented it. Probably the most effective one was actually in Portsmouth, where it actually did fool the Germans. We've documented that on this channel, so type in Portsmouth decoy bunker, a Starfish site, and basically it was always up to speculation as to how useful these really were in actual terms of effectiveness. But I always debate the fact that's not really the case. The case is the fact that these were here to hopefully stop. And the thing is, if for example, you're working in one of the factories in Luton, or you're just in Luton itself, I'm sure there probably might have been an element of slight comfort knowing that they were trying to help divert, so there was to reduce casualties and obviously to keep the industry sort of going. Like I said, on this case, because it was a civil decoy, obviously civilian, civil, meant for industry and infrastructure. Let's have a look here. And then QL, obviously meaning quick light for all of you, just in case. Like I said, I've done so many of these, and I've done more extensive history lessons on almost all of them. Let's have a look, see. So that's our escape hatch. Let's see, there's only 2 rooms. There's a pipe there. So, oh, blimey, sorry about that. So most of there would have been, it wouldn't have just been this decoy bunker you would have seen. Sometimes they would have had Nissan huts for crew. But trying to think of other things that I don't normally sort of say about on these decoy sites. It's just because I've covered so many of them. However, this is my first one in Hertfordshire. So I suppose that's kind of like a nice little tick on the list for me to sort of cover. And like I said, actually, strangely enough, I mean, the condition isn't too bad in there. It's just full of soil. And as we know, every year that goes by, the condition of these is going to deteriorate. So, you know, it's definitely seen better days. This would be referred to as also a sort of semi-standard design of a starfish site, where you've got the entrance straight in the middle, you've got the 2 rooms dividing, and there are other starfish sites that are different from this, and again, I've recorded those. Like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of some that are probably more interesting. Camber Castle, Rye, former starfish site there. You know, I mean, they're all... Can I try and get out there? Let's try and get out there, show you around here. I mean, I've given you all the history, but I just think it's important that, like I said, you know, these sites are so interesting in their own right to document. So look, there's some brickwork there. Now this is where the petroleum to simulate the fires would have been coming out from. Let me try and... Don't really want to trash too much here, because as you can see, there's a bit of wildlife. There we go. Did that relatively okay. So it would have been in like these sort of petrol wells. Is that electric cable, or is that... No, it's not an electric cable. I thought, God blimey, that would have been interesting to see that. Yeah, rectangular in design. There was a little pipe here that I saw. There you go. So most of these pipes would have been for electrical cables, vent pipes as well. They pretty much were exhaust pipes most of the time. Those probably would have been the slightly bigger ones. Well, again, this is so strange on this one because everything's pretty much buried, but you know, I have seen worse. But yeah, right, let's get out of here. Right, so the only other thing I just wanted to cover was this, which is the thing that we walked past to begin with. This is a blast wall. Just this brick wall here. In potential case of attack, this was meant to be a blast wall for the bunker itself. But as you can also see, only brick in construction with a concrete cap. Again, very, very common. Sort of with it, again, with exception of ones like Canberra, for example, and there was another one that I did in Hampshire. There's like the beautiful thing about starfish decoy sites is that they do vary in size, shape, and design. But as a standard type of looking starfish decoy site, if you've never seen one before, this is probably one of the most standard designs you've got. Like I said, rectangular, open two sides with a command point that side, and then a generator block on the other side. Normally you'd see a generator plinth, this sort of concrete plinth with these sort of like steel spikes coming out the top, and that's obviously where the generator would have sat, and obviously there would have been pipes going on from that. And also with this, because it was a twin, so this would have been simulating like I said, Luton factory, Luton works, etc, etc. There would have been another one, like I said, Flamstead. Forgive me if I pronounce that wrong, that's not there anymore anyway. And that would have also been simulating as well, just to sort of like make the Nazi German bombers think twice about where they're potentially going to be bombing. Most of the time, again, there were daytime ones, by the way, but most often they were normally at night. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So hopefully I've just sort of bombarded you with enough information. Let's just take one more look inside, because you know, we are here after all, and I always sort of make a thing now that, you know, there's every chance I will probably never come back here again in my lifetime. So it's just good to sort of like, I always say the word enjoy, but I mean, enjoy for me is different enjoyment for other people. I enjoy this type of thing, so, you know, to make the most of it whilst I'm here. Something I've had to learn along the way, exploring not to rush. Just because I've got a few places I need to go to doesn't mean I have to rush it. But again, like, you know, I've said it before, unfortunately when I'm on my own, it does make the experience a little bit more different. There's big old cracks there as well. So yeah, again, this would have been the command section with the escape hatch. Again, nothing unfortunately to write home about in here. So overgrown. I mean, it's not, strangely enough, in condition wise, it's not the worst condition you're ever going to see of a decoy. If you've never, again, I'm trying to sort of treat this as if you've never been to one before. I'm sure loads of you probably watching have, or loads of you probably watch my videos enough to get a really good extensive history on these. Like I said, I've done more decoy sites that have got more extensive history on them, just because I don't really want to keep repeating myself all the time. See, look at that behind me as well. That's interesting, because I've never seen those on the side there. But yeah, underneath all this is probably a vent. It's probably oh god, I think I'm looking at vents. Is probably a plinth for a generator, and then the pipes leading out to provide power for the lighting. There you go. Right. Okay, let me say my goodbyes, and yeah, see you in a minute. Okay everybody, thank you so much for coming along with me. Hopefully you really enjoyed that. Hopefully I gave you as much history as possible on this one without actually doing a history lesson. One to tick off for Hertfordshire, that's pretty cool, isn't it? My first one as a recording this, who knows. But yeah, brilliant to document it. Not the best one you're ever going to see, but definitely not the worst. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed that. Wasn't the most fanciest videos you're ever going to see, but we did video it, which is the most important thing. Anyway, in the immortal words of Phoenix History, because history matters, love to all of you out there. Take care everybody, and I will see you all very soon. Ready? Kapow.